Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome back to the Rate the Record podcast. Lucky 7, episode 7 this week, and you are joined by your hosts, Kris and
Savannah.
Yay! Once again, as if it was ever going to change.
I hope not.
But yes, episode 7 this week. We are just rolling right along with this thing, getting better as we go, I think. If you agree that we're getting better as we go, you can go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons on YouTube because, once again, also leave comments too. We want to start responding to comments, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, we're trying to build that so lovable community where we can all have this big discussion about music.
Yes.
But of course, the audio platforms too that are out there: Spotify, Apple, Google, Castbox, Anchor, and now Bandcamp, which I'll talk about in just a second. Subscribe and follow to all of those. Leave comments, ratings, everything. We want to build this thing to the sky.
Yes, and I do just have to ask, 7 episodes, how the hell are we still allowed to do this? I mean, not that I don't want to, but it is baffling, yet exciting.
How have we not been crucified for some of our opinions?
Yeah, especially me. Mine are terrible.
I was going to say the classic rock fans are going to hunt me down like a hog or something like that after Tom Petty last week. Yeesh.
And the Chili Pepper fans are, they're going to run topless at me, I swear.
At least you still had yours in the 60s, okay? I mean, like, mine was complete failure.
And if you want to listen to that episode, that was last week.
Yeah, Tom Petty last week, Chili Peppers before that, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, there's going to be, like, the card above my head somewhere. You can click that to get the other episodes, but wait until this one's done.
Yes, please, please. This one's good, I swear.
But as I mentioned a moment ago, yes, we are on Bandcamp now. If you already know what Bandcamp is and you don't want to hear this part, then just skip ahead to the disclaimer or whatever, because I just want to mention this real quick. So Bandcamp is a platform where you can stream and download content for free or for a price. All of our content is free on Bandcamp. We aren't charging for it, but there is an option to pay per episode if you want. You can pay as little or as much as you'd like, but it is 100% optional. Do not feel obligated to have to pay. It's all there. It's just another streaming platform. By all means, if you have an app for Bandcamp, use it. If you have an account, you can follow us there. That would be fantastic.
Listen and love it, please. Thank you.
And maybe give us money.
Yes, too.
I wanted to sound very friendly, but let's be serious here. No, seriously. It is optional. You don't have to pay. It's all good. It's there. Just listen and enjoy. That's all we really wanted of this.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, if you are brand new to the podcast, I'll get to you in just a moment, because I also want to say welcome back to everyone who's been here before. So glad that you've joined us again. You must like us just enough to want to be back here again.
What is wrong with you?
Yes, this could be a big explanation of your mental state. But if you are new, hearing that little note, welcome. We hope you enjoy your stay and your mental state is stable enough to enjoy the podcast. If you don't know what we do here, each week Savannah and I will choose an album, be it at random, anniversary type special edition albums, viewer's choice. We pick one, we will discuss it in length, we rank the songs, and then we rate the record, as if there was another reason to name it Rate the Record.
All of my jokes have been exhausted by now, so...
I can't believe we rate the record on Rate the Record, she said 3 episodes in a row.
Well, when you pointed it out, I was like, damn, I gotta think something else. I have yet to think of any other joke other than being surprised of something I'm part of. I don't know.
I remember when we started this and you were so excited to be, like, witty, and now you've lost your wits and we're only 7 episodes in. You should have pre-planned.
Yeah, I'm a sprinter. I'm not a marathoner. It's all gone at the beginning. That's it. Done.
Oh, so you're a grower, not a shower. Gotcha. Anyways. I pick on Savannah all the time, but with that said, we do have kind of a disclaimer that we'd like to say at the beginning of each episode to make sure we're kind of all on the same page regarding, like, not bullying each other. Oops.
Yeah.
Not crapping all over each other's opinions, just having friendly conversations about things. So, Savannah, if you would, please.
Okay. The following thoughts and opinions we're going to discuss on Rate the Record regarding this album are strictly of our own personal interests. We are not professional music reviewers. We are simply two friends having fun, discussing and listening to music. We encourage respectful discussion and friendly banter of each episode, but we do not condone and will not tolerate bullying or belligerence based on the opinions of ourselves or others. This podcast is a casual and for fun project, and you are welcome to take what we say regarding the albums we rate with a grain of salt.
There you go. Sounding cleaner and cleaner every single week.
I've been practicing.
Yeah, you say it in front of a mirror as if you're saying a speech to like thousands, tens of thousands of people.
And then I splash some cold water on my face and slap my cheeks a little bit and really get pumped.
Get yourself hyped for another episode of the podcast. Because this week is God, this album is fantastic, but I guess we're going to have to wait to talk about that. I just want to jump into it so badly because I like this album so much. It is Mr. Bungle with the album California, their final album before disbanding in 1999. So Mr. Bungle, yeah, they are an experimental rock band, although they've also been listed as genres like funk metal, avant-garde, alternative metal, etc. There's a bunch, actually, in the mix. Originally from Eureka, California, later from San Francisco. They originally formed in 1985 as a death metal band, but that started to change over time, and you'll definitely hear that difference today. The band started with a lineup of, okay, so this word's going to come up a lot, multi-instrumentalist and lead singer Mike Patton, guitarist and multi-instrumentalist Trace Bruins, bassist Trevor Dunn, multi-instrumentalist Theo Langiel, I think I'm saying that right, and drummer Jad Watts. Though for the release of their final album of original material, because they just recently released an EP of an old demo of theirs, but that doesn't count because it's not technically original material anymore. But yes, California, for this final album, Langiel would not appear, and Watts would be replaced by drummer Danny Herfetz in 1989. With Mike Patton's success following his time in San Francisco alt-metal band Faith No More, Mr. Bungle was signed to Warner Brothers Records, where they released 3 studio albums between 1990 and 1999. California, the one that we're doing today, it was recorded in late 1998 across various recording studios. I think it was like 4 altogether. And the album was released in July 1999 through Warner Brothers Records. The album was self-produced and didn't technically produce any singles, though the songs Retro Vertigo, Pink Cigarette, and Vanity Fair are some of the more well-known tracks from this album. The album got praised by publications such as Pitchfork, Exclaim, and Alternative Press, who the latter of all those gave the album 4 out of 5 stars. This album was named number 15 on Rolling Stone's Album of the Year's chart in Germany. Unfortunately not the United States or Canada, but I can't understand why, because it is an amazing album. So there you go. That's the brief explanation rundown of Mr. Bungle in California. But yeah, their last album as a band, their most consumable and commercial friendly album, considering that their self-titled and Disco Volante albums are a sight to behold. I was very, very tempted to pick the self-titled album for today's show, but I didn't do that because the only reason why I didn't do it is because it's 73 minutes long, and we just did a 73-minute album a couple of weeks ago. So I was like, you know what? Let's just we're still on break from that, so let's just take this one. It's only like, 44 minutes and 16 seconds. I have it here in front of me.
I thank you a lot for your consideration of, excuse me, my time.
How valuable.
That's 70 minutes. I'm sitting going, I could be doing nothing for 70 minutes, but how the hell am I supposed to listen to an entire album? This is wild.
Oh, it's just you wait until the day I pick The Fragile by 9 Inch Nails. Double album, 2 hours of music. It's going to be like a doubleheader episode. That's not even in the cards right now, but who knows? I might throw it in at some point.
Well, I mean, if we're picking our own albums, I definitely think you're going to slide that one right in there.
Eventually. Not yet, but eventually.
Goddamn.
We'll work into that one. But anyways,
right.
Let's start talking music, specifically California by Mr. Bungle. So the very first song on this album to open everything up, Sweet Charity.
Okay, so just setting the scene here. I can picture him standing center stage, just singing while there's sort of like a set behind them. And as the song goes on, they're rearranging the set into different things, because this song to me is just like scene, then different scene, and different scene. And it's just kind of this small amalgamation of like a I don't know, like a little mini play in one song. And that just sparks a lot of visuals, and I really enjoyed it. Yeah,
well, that's understandable, because I do have a point on here that says, I I can likely say this for the rest of the album as well. It's not just this track in particular, but there's a great cinematic type of feeling in this track and all of these tracks. Like,
yeah.
And any Mike Patton fan out there will know that, like, he's in the band Fantomas, and they have like a whole album full of cover songs. I can't remember what it is, but like, he loves cinema. And so, I mean, it's no surprise that he'd want this album to have like a cinematic quality to it, especially with some of the songs on here that just are really heavy in story. It's not a concept album, but every song kind of tells its own story, especially a few coming up. But yeah, going back to Sweet Charity, this is a very, very pleasant start to the album for the most part. I mean, there's moments of tension in it, especially in the choruses. But it's just a very nice opening to the album specifically. You just hear the waves, you hear birds, and just whistling and just soft slide guitars and stuff like that. It's so pleasant.
I got confusing yet interesting start to the album because I wasn't sure what to expect. But as it went on, I'm like, okay, this isn't that bad. Actually, You know what? Just side note for the entire album, not just this song. Before I even started critiquing or really listening to it, I had played the album 6 or 7 times and then decided to actually start listening to it. It was so easy to just play.
This whole album, eh?
Oh, that was it. I might spoil a little bit by saying I fucking loved it. I liked it a lot.
Well, the fact that you listened to it 6 or 7 times, had you listened to it previously before I brought this up as an episode?
No. Never.
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, not once.
Oh, and so I should have mentioned this prior, a little behind the scenes. If anyone's been paying attention, usually Savannah and I do not discuss our song rankings going into an episode. They're all just kind of surprises as we pop them up and see if we match or not. But we will usually tell each other the album scores off camera, so that way I can have it ready on Photoshop. We're changing that rule now, so we no longer know our album rankings right now. So she doesn't know what my score is. I don't know what hers is, and so I think we're both kind of excited to see where this lands.
Yeah.
Because we want that genuine reaction now. We don't want to just throw it in and already know where it's supposed to be. Yeah. So it's going to be pretty exciting. I'm going to have to do some quick math on my phone here when that time comes, but yeah, that's fine by me. I don't care. I want genuine reaction here. I want real acting, speaking of cinematic quality.
Yes.
Still going on about the song because I could say a billion things about every song on this album. Yeah. But this is another one of those things where I can just stretch across the entire album. Can Mike Patton just serenade me daily, please?
I have a couple notes coming up about that.
This man is like solid gold. He has a voice like compared to none. Like his voice is perfection, and you can go ahead and at me if you want because you're wrong, because Mike Patton is just perfect vocalist.
Yeah.
He can scream, hit the high notes, hit the low notes. He sounds beautiful in his mid-range. I mean, I could just make a whole episode talking about Mike Patton. But yeah, this track does bring like a pleasant mix of like, you know, those soft, flowy kind of melodies and everything like that into the more dramatic courses. That feels like a really nice kind of mashup. I enjoy it. And because the chorus is so catchy, you don't even really think about how far the song extends because it's past 5 minutes. It's like 5 minutes and 5 seconds. It says right here in front of me. You don't even notice because it's just like you're enjoying what you're listening to.
By the time I had thought, holy choruses, I think there were maybe 3 left. So it took that long for me to think, wow, this is kind of dragging on. But then it ended. So it didn't feel like it kind of dragged on. It was just like, it was just enough. When I started to have enough, it was ending. At the very least with the choruses, especially towards the end, they changed keys. Yes.
So at least it's different and it's not just the same thing pushing through. Yeah. So yeah, it's something I really enjoyed out of that.
I think my last note on that, just the theatrical sort of cinematic stuff. Excuse me. I really like the deep drums. It filled it out completely. Like, you would be missing something if that wasn't there.
Actually, there's a note I have on the next song, which technically, you know what, we'll say what the next song is now. None of them knew they were robots. There's a note that I have that I'll actually tie into Sweet Charities because this whole album has like a sound theme to it. Like, it's like, obviously there's a lot of different things going on in different tracks, but it always comes back to that kind of like surfer rock type of vibe from like the 50s and 60s. Like it feels very old school, and that like even the cover of the album, which I was gonna show, I do have it on vinyl right here. You see this little couple playing on the beach there in California, so like it has those old school vibes to it in more ways than one. I'm surprised I haven't worn out this vinyl yet, to be honest. But yeah, none of them knew they were robots. Super crazy tense intro into like the calmer, surfy, jazzy kind of verses. Like seriously, every member of this band are geniuses since they figure out how to make that work, because the way it transitions shouldn't work. But it does. Like it doesn't feel like an awkward mashup. It's just everything works when it comes together and just flows from one to the next.
Just a couple notes that I have about this. One, those horns are 100% necessary. Two, as soon as the song started, I thought, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, it's like really heavy in the beginning.
Well, I like this. And then when it goes into sort of the smoother stuff, I'm like, okay, you hooked me at the beginning and you have me in the middle. You got me still. So, and just one point just says sound effects.
Oh,
Sweet.
that comes up a lot through the album.
I like that. They caught me off guard, but like in a pleasant way.
There are sound effects, and then there's just literally sounds they're making with the instruments that sound like just weird sound effects,
like slide whistle kind of. Well,
there's even that one guitar where it just sounds like they have like one of those like slides on the neck of the guitar, and it's like they do that. Like that's kind of a cool little sound too.
I like that.
And actually, speaking of like sound effects and cartoony kind of stuff, I said once the chorus kicks in, it's just a wacky, cartoony kind of party, and I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Having an absolute lot of fun with this one.
Invite me to this party, please.
It does feel this feels like even lyrically, because I know we don't usually do this. I know you didn't do this because you mentioned off camera you didn't. Nope. I decided to take a look at some of the lyrics and everything like that. Not that I'm making it a huge part of the analysis, but I wanted to try to make it a little bit of the analysis. Yeah. Especially because these lyrics are probably a lot deeper than most people would suspect when you're listening to music like this. Because you think they're just being like zany, whatever. It's just like, oh, these guys are just having fun. It's like, no, some of these get like really existential and like really dark and depressing.
Oh, really?
I mentioned this in the past too, especially with Elliott Smith, about having like these jumpy upbeat songs with really dark undertone to it.
Yeah.
Because this song really kind of made me feel like 1950s, 60s sci-fi, and like we're taking a look at it through that scope.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, obviously none of them knew they were robots, but I think it has a lot to do with, like, you know, just kind of going with what you're told and not questioning anything type thing. It's like one of those, like, punky authoritarian type things. Like, don't tell me what to do. Yeah. Or anti-authoritarian, I should say.
You boomers, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, but this song was a lot of fun to get through. And again, you don't even feel time go by in this track. It's over 6 minutes long, but it's just like, you don't think about it.
I did not even notice at all. My last note just says, I don't even know. Why does this song make my brain feel good?
It's just a fun, bouncy trip of a song. Like, it's super enjoyable.
Yeah, I like that one.
And that's the best part. When you're having fun, time flies faster, which it's unfortunate because you want it to last, but at that same note, you don't even understand how long the song's already been on for.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, it was just such easy listening. It just flowed. I like that. Mm-hmm.
So I guess do you have no more notes about that song then?
No. Other than my brain lighting up on a CT scan listening to it, like, we're good.
I would love to see that layout. Speaking of, I didn't know this song was that long. Retro Vertigo, the next song on here, 5 minutes.
Oh,
Again,
really?
Didn't feel like 5 minutes in the slightest. This was like a nice slowdown from the intensity of the previous track. So like, just one of those things you can really appreciate. But it's not just one of those like, I say this every week. It's not one of those like breath of fresh air type of songs, because there's still like kind of intensity to this song too, and it's just so damn good. Oh my God,
it sounds familiar to me. I don't know if I've heard this song or if I've just if it has that like late 90s vibe to it that I've heard in other songs of the time, it sounds super familiar, but I can't place it. And it kills me the entire time, or every time I listen to it. I'm like, oh, where have I heard this before?
Chances are it's probably the chord progression, I would think, because that's been done in songs before, like stuff like that. So that could very well be it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, this sounds like it could be another type of song too, but regardless, like I love the way this one sounds. I love the contrast between the warm sounding vocals, but like the uneasy instrumental progression behind it. Like, it's as if we should be aware something is off already. Because like the vocals, and this is kind of one of the first notes I brought up about lyrical themes too. I'll read it verbatim. Going with the lyrical theme of just going along with any old trend and disregard everything else because it's what we're told is cool, which is essentially what the song is about. The instrumentals do a really good job of pulling you back from like the pretty voice leading you away. Mike Patton sounds fantastic as always, but like he sounds great, kind of just like drifting you through the song a little bit, but then the instrumentals sound a little off if you're listening to them and you're like, this sounds a little unsettling. And it's supposed to be like that though. It was like really well crafted like that.
I liked it. I didn't have many comments about this, I think, because I was spending way too much goddamn time trying to figure out where I've heard this song from. But despite the length, like I honestly didn't even notice how long it was, but I can see this as like an edited down single, like 100%. It's so
well. I know there's a music video for this song, so I mean,
I'm gonna have to watch that after this. I didn't know that.
Thing. A couple other notes I guess I have is shout out to what I can only assume is Mike Patton beatboxing in the chorus. It's definitely beatboxing. I think it's probably him. Even though it's not the best beatbox, doesn't matter. I love it.
Yeah.
It's untouchable. I don't know. This song was just a lot of fun. It's probably the most easily digestible song on this album, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because there's a pickup in the last third of the song where it gets a little heavier, more's added, especially with the drums, like these big hollow sounding drums kind of kick in. And there's like a fresh, tiny little layer of overdrive over everything. So everything sounds slightly distorted.
Yeah.
Again, very much thinking they did that on purpose because it's really starting to emphasize the message of the track at that point. I think it sounds cool. At first I thought my headphones were blown out, but no, it's fine.
Couple tracks in, I had to rewind a little bit because of something in it. I was like, is that on my phone or is that in the track? And I had to listen to it like 3 times. I'm like, oh shit, that's in the track. Okay. Kind of threw me off a little bit.
Oh, what's that? You needed another excuse to listen to these songs over and over again?
Yes.
I love it so much.
Yes.
You know, I don't want to spoil too much about how I feel about the song, but overall it's practically perfect.
Ooh. Chef's kiss.
Double. I mean, both hands. Get them in there. You got 2 hands, use them. But I mean, to kind of like cover that spoiler a little bit, I rated this song and 2 others the exact same. So, I mean, there's kind of a toss-up.
As did I.
Aha. Excellent. Well, I'm curious to see if we're going to match on anything this week.
I'm going to say 2.
2?
2.
I was thinking 2 as well.
Yeah.
Optimistic side of me says 3, but I think it's going to be 2.
Yeah, that's same with me. I'm like, I'll err on the side of caution. I'll do 2, so at least I'm kind of right.
Okay, so the next track, The Air-Conditioned Nightmare. This time you start because I've been like just rambling on most of the time here.
Okay, so pretty much every song just sort of sets a scene in my head, which to me, good albums do. You kind of see the visual with the music. So you were kind of talking about, 1950s, like sci-fi and stuff like that. Well, to me, this song feels like, typical teens dancing on the beach in the stereotypical way, getting abducted by aliens.
Interesting.
That because it's got like the surfy, happy sound, and then it's kind of like jerky and sort of turns into something else. And I just imagine them on the spaceship, and then it goes back into dancing where they're let go and they're back on the beach, but they're all robots inside.
I adore that that's your point to start this off with, because actually my next point ties into that flawlessly.
Yes,
and can we emphasize to people here that we do not plan this out in advance? Just when these little happy moments happen, and when I say happy, this one's not happy at all, because lyrically it feels like this is punishing the listeners who only listen to the music. It's very dark subject matter in this song, but wrapped up in fun, energetic music.
Yeah, aliens, definitely.
Suicide. This song is about suicide. Yikes.
They're ascended to another realm, so really it's just a metaphor.
So I did a bit of a breakdown, and I'll try to keep this as quick as possible. From what I gather, it's either someone who's disabled or like an older person just living in this hell of an earth, even though they have like all the comforts around them. They just want to die, and I feel like they tried to attempt it and failed, but then at the end of the song they finally succeed. Like, where's my rainbow, where's my halo, there's my halo, then Heavenly Chorus ends the song. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like reading through the lyrics, it's definitely like about suicide. I even get like the hint it might even be like someone with dementia or Alzheimer's wanting to commit suicide. Very dark.
Knowing that hurts.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have had like known people who have gone through that kind of stuff. I have. So it is interesting to kind of dive into the subject matter, but it feels weird to do it over top of this fun, energetic music.
Yeah. My mood is knocked down just a little bit knowing that.
Yeah, well, I mean, this album is full of dark subject matter. That's the thing. Like, again, it's lyrically, it's punishing people who only listen to the music, and I found that very interesting, and that's kind of why I dug into it a little more. But we can talk about better things about this music now. Like, the panning vocals in the verse, like, get me out of this air-conditioned nightmare, like going left, right through the speakers.
Yeah.
That was a nice little touch, and it's not even that it was just panning. It's literally just, like, I think he's singing like a single line of like lyrics, one at a time in each speaker, so it's like two different takes overlapping each other. I love that.
I really enjoyed the use, like, I guess sort of to go off what you just said, I like the use of sound and multiple odd instruments. Like, I don't know. I noticed a lot in this song that it was just like a lot of things that I don't hear in music. Yeah. You know, it's just like I don't know. It caught me off guard in a give me more of this way.
Yeah, I love how this song transitions so well. Again, like just flawless transitioning from like different emotions and perspectives throughout this song. Like even if one part's really fast and the next part slows down, like it feels like it's supposed to be that way. Like it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel like they did it wrong. Like I feel like they took a long time to do this, because it took like quite a while to record this album, like nearly an entire year.
Oh, really?
So they took their time with it.
Oh, hell yeah. It's like a song and a bit every month if they just went straight. Like, that's a long time to work on something.
Well, and considering
good.
Yeah, and considering how many different things you can hear in this song or this whole album, like they obviously took a long time to like carefully and meticulously plan like each step.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing, and that's why I called them geniuses in the beginning.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean, we're almost halfway through, and geez Louise, not many bad things we have to say, surprisingly.
No, and like I tried digging through for some like more criticism, but I mean, like it was hard because everything's just done really well. I mean, the only real criticism I could be like as a Mr. Bungle fan, it's like, oh, it doesn't sound like Disco Volante, which was like an absolutely fucking chaotic album. But like that's okay though. Like this is nice to have, and this was kind of like a nice send off as this was their last album.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the way this song is structured, it does a great job of creating like imagery that like the protagonist is feeling and experiencing, because you have like the kind of like quicker like chaotic moments, and then like the quieter, and then there's like just a bunch of different things. It's really interesting, and again with that dark lyrical subject matter, I mean, I feel like they construct it really well, knowing what they're going for mood wise, but at the same time doing it in their style. So they're not just like making a very sad song. It's like, this is our style and this is the way we're going to tell this particular story.
You're right. I should listen to it again with that in mind. Thank you. I will do so.
You're just going to listen to it with the lights off now. It's raining outside. Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to be...
Staring at the ceiling, one singular tear dropping from my eye.
Maybe going forward, I won't talk about the lyrics anymore because some of them aren't as friendly. Although, I mean, like, I feel like songs like Pink Cigarette, I'm going to have to, because that's like, the whole song is like a very clear forefront story.
Yeah.
But that's coming up later. But yeah, even past the deep dive analysis of the lyrics and everything like that, this is a really fun song. It sounds pretty and even slightly emotional at times, obviously. But yeah, it was another really fun song on this album. Just, it kind of flies by. You don't think twice about it. Although it's under 4 minutes, so it's technically one of the shorter ones on the album so far.
Yeah. Well, still didn't drag, and I still liked it. So, thumbs up from me.
Alrighty then. Yeah, we're not dragging yet, so let's see if I'm pronouncing this correctly. The next song is Ars Moriendi. I mean, I believe it's a Latin word, but I mean, I don't speak Latin. I don't have the accent, so I don't know. It's Ars Moriendi.
Yep. And if anybody would like to correct our bastardization of any pronunciations, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. If you want to just shoot us some comments, good or bad, we'll take them.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the reason why we want people to be part of these discussions in the community and everything like that, especially because we don't do lyrical breakdowns, and now that I'm doing some for this album, I mean, if I'm off by a million miles, it's just my own interpretation, so by all means, let me know if there's like a better story to it, or maybe Mike Patton or Trevor Dunn or whoever wrote the lyrics will have a better idea or knows what the song is and they just put it out there. I don't know. But anyways, Ars Moriendi. This is the song where you can really feel the many different styles of Mr. Bungle. There was a lot going on in this song.
Okay. This song is an audio representation of what is in my head day to day. I listened to this song 3 times before I was like, oh yeah, shit, I should actually be like listening to this. I just let it play and it just kept going. And I'm like, I just keep going with this. Just keep playing. That's it.
Yeah, there's never really a dull moment in this entire track, is there?
I liked it. It's like when you kind of get a little fatigued, you're like, I'm kind of sick of listening to this. It's like they are like, oh, we're sick of playing this. And then they play something else. And you're like, oh, let's change it up. And then they go to something else. And it's just, I don't know. It to me, it felt like app switching. You're just like, oh, I'm kind of sick of this. Go to something else. Go to something else. And I'm down for it.
Yeah, this definitely had I'm sorry if I'm just generalizing this, but it has like that Middle Eastern feel to it. I'm not really good with geographically when it comes to music of where certain things are from or certain sounds. Yeah. So again, I probably fucked that up. I apologize. But regardless, you know what I mean if you hear the song. Like that runs a lot through this song, but then there's like in the second verse there's like a dance kind of kick drum going on. Yeah. There's like a metal breakdown where there's like blast beats going on at one point. Like there's just a lot, and then there's like this really weird like almost polka sounding part that goes really fast too in the middle. I love the breakdown-ish type of part near the middle of the song where it's like I love that too. Like that's probably my favorite part of the song. It's just so fun.
I was very confused, but in a good way, because it changed so much that it was just like, where are you taking me? It's like following someone in the woods and you're just like, I have no idea where our destination is, where I am right now, but I'm having a good time. So I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, except those woods are like a weird mix of like Tim Burton and Dr. Seuss style woods.
I can see that, yeah.
There's a lot going on. You have a lot to see and a lot to experience in this short amount of time.
And then along the trail, or what is the trail, you have some belly dancers with the little mini cymbals in their fingers and everything. So I can see that.
Yeah.
Singing background vocals and dancing to the music.
And yet another song over 4 minutes, and I still kind of wanted more by the time it was over. I was having so much fun with it. I was just like, what do you mean it's over?
Yep.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm going to say this to a lot of them, but give me more. give me more of this. Whatever was happening, I want more of it.
Fair enough, yeah, because that's exactly why I bought the vinyl, because I fell in love with this album so long ago, and like I haven't listened to it in a while, so coming back to it for this episode was such a treat. Yeah. I was so happy to do it. I wrote all my reviews like a couple of days ago, but I've been listening to it since, and then I've been going through this hard part of like making sure my songs are in the proper order, like for ranking, like. My top 3 songs, for example, I'm not going to say what they are, but like they're all scored the same, but I didn't realize that at first, and so I'm like struggling to put one over the other. I'm just like, where do I want to put these? Like, oh my god, I need to get this right. But then it took me like a day and a half to realize like they're all scored the same. It doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to change the score at all.
It's like you don't want to offend one song by putting the other one above it.
I could probably go ahead and just like redo this episode tomorrow and like okay, this time this one's gonna be number 1.
Yeah. Let's just do this again tomorrow and the next day, and we'll do 3 of them. Have each one of your songs at number 1. No guilt, no nothing.
Have you heard the other Mr. Bungle albums?
I have not.
Interesting. I'd be very like we don't have it in the cards right now, but I mean like I'd be very curious to know your opinion of them because they sound much more different than this album. Yeah. This album is way cleaner than the other ones. And I mean the self-titled album. Don't even get me started on the song "Dead Goon" and that bass line, the best bass line in the entire world. I'm going off on a tangent here, positive tangent. So maybe I should just stop there. Yep. Because we have many more positive things to say about this album.
I mean. No. Polarizing album. Totally hated it.
But everyone listening right now, pause right now, go to whatever platform you're on, listen to the first 2 minutes of Dead Goon. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. Dead Goon by Mr. Bungle. Listen to that bass line, and I dare you to tell me it's not the best damn bass line you've ever heard in your life. Okay, challenge accepted. Good. Welcome back if you just unpause the video. Yep. I had to get that out there because, oh my god, that... Ugh. Anyways... Pink Cigarette, next song on the album. Just kind of rambling at this point. What you got for Pink Cigarette?
Okay. Question for you though. What is Mike Patton's range? Holy shit. That was that was the first note. What? Also, if I could have him serenade me in this deep range. I'll take it.
I definitely don't have those low notes, so I can't even try to represent it. I
am into it. Like, I heard it and I was like, wait, what? And then I went back and, listened to it again. I'm like, ooh, it's as smooth as butter, for God's sakes. What the hell?
Does his low voice make you weak in the knees?
It does. It does. Like, claps on the floor. It was insane. Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, though, like listening to him like with the high stuff and then the smooth low stuff, and it doesn't sound like he's struggling or pushing. I'm like, holy shit.
There are compilations on YouTube demonstrating Mike Patton's range from like his lowest to his highest notes and everything in between. So I mean, like, he has a much wider range than I think anyone would give him credit for, because again, this guy's unstoppable when it comes to vocals. Like, you can't change my mind.
I had no idea. I feel like the last person on earth to figure this out or to hear this. I'm like, my God, you guys have been keeping this from me? No idea.
Well, and it's funny because like you've mainly known Mike Patton through Faith No More up to this point. So like you've had one style of him. Like, he still kind of like shows off that style a bit in Faith No More, but not until he gets to like Mr. Bungle and Tomahawk does he really start pushing the boundaries of his voice.
Nice. Well, looks like you turned me into something. I have so many bands to listen to now.
And he can scream into like Mariah Carey's whistle register. He did an EP with the Dillinger Escape Plan and started like he was screaming. They did a cover of "Come to Daddy" by FX Twin, and Patton hits those unbelievably high screeching notes. It's perfect. I love it.
I like that. I like that a lot.
We're going to have like a whole bonus episode of just Mike Patton.
And it's just us reviewing those compilations, just fangirling out completely. My Lord.
But with that, I should say Trace Bruins and Trevor Dunn are two absolutely amazing musicians too. Trevor Dunn, like awesome bassist. Again, Dead Goon, go listen to it if you didn't yet. I don't want to just rain praise on Patton, although he deserves it. But the rest of the band, fantastic. They're all just amazing musicians.
Oh, hell yeah.
But yes, Pink Cigarette, and if we can finally get back into it.
Yes. Topic at hand.
Look at that, another song with really dark subject matter, masked by very innocent and alluring opening portions of the song. Like, it just flows into... It sounds like an oboe, but I don't think it is. It's one of those types of instruments. But it's just that, and everything's very light and flowy. And it's those deep vocals are kind of, like, pulling you in. But then as soon as it hits the chorus, like, you're like, oh... This sounds a little more dramatic now. I don't like this. I mean, I do like this, but I mean, story-wise, I don't like this.
So what's the story? Just Cliff's Notes.
So basically, as far as I can tell, a man's significant other has left him. I don't know if one of them cheated. I don't know what this... I can't pick that point up. But anyways, she left. And he just can't take the fact that she's gone. So he decides that he's going to kill himself in her house and wait for her to get home to find the body. Hi, happy times.
Yeah, it...
I mean, even at the end of the song, he's like... You'll come home, you'll find a note and see my silhouette. There's just 5 hours until you find me dead. There's just 4 hours until you find me dead. There's 3 hours until you find me dead too. And then you start hearing a heart rate monitor. And the end of the song, it flatlines and you can hear screaming while he's saying like there's X amount of hours left.
Okay.
That's finding the body.
Okay. So I did not know any of that, but I wrote down at the end, there's something in the background, and I think of screaming. The beeping doesn't help anything. I hated that.
It's all part of the story.
It made me so uncomfortable. But knowing that, I'm like, oh, that was the point. That was exactly the point.
That means that they absolutely like hook, line, and sinker got you in.
Yeah, I hated it. I hated it. It was the screaming that I'm like, what is this? It makes me uncomfortable. Then the beeping. That's when I took my headphones off, going, what is this in my ear? Is this in the song? But they mission achieved.
With some of the lyrics too, again, not going to go super deep into it. It's just about the way this man might have killed himself. I assumed it was hanging, but then apparently if you dive a little deeper into the lyrics, as some people were saying, he might have set himself on fire. Because a lot of the lyrics refer to like the burns on me, the smoke will hide my shame, stuff like that. So I don't know, but regardless, it's a very, again, dark, disturbing story. And I mean, this song is extremely cinematic in that way because like the instrumentals carry you through. Mike Patton's your narrator, just pulling you through the story as if it was like a radio broadcast type thing.
Yeah.
And it started getting very suspenseful, very good cinematic buildup, and as you said, just the end with a lot of tension there. You start hearing the screaming, things kind of go off the deep end, the heart rate monitor that just flatlines.
Yeah.
Story's over.
Yeah, I definitely, not that I'm looking for another excuse to listen to the album again, but it is nice to listen to it. It's kind of like watching a movie, knowing the ending, because then you can kind of see the little hints throughout. So knowing that and listening to the album again, I think it'll make it for kind of a new, yet, I don't know, more exciting listen, I guess. When
you can start to piece things together, and you understand why they made certain musical choices, you really appreciate the song even more. It kind of makes me feel bad for not doing this for previous albums now, because just maybe my score would be different on some. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like i.e. Dream Theater. Like since that was a concept album, if I had paid attention to the lyrics, like maybe it would be a little higher than 62.5. Hard to say.
But some lyrics in some songs are cheesy as fuck, and I hate them so much.
I heard the lyrics. I just wasn't focusing on them, and yes, I agree. I just like, oh man, this is like songwriting 101.
Yeah. I hate when a story is completely laid out for you, and there's no all the context is right there, and you're just kind of like, I feel like you're just holding my hand and walking me through it. So kind of listening to a song and not knowing what it's about is kind of, I don't know, it's it gives it an exciting second listen.
Well, and that's kind of like Pig's Cigarette, though, but I guess the difference in that is that it doesn't hit every single point where it's just like, this is what's happening in the story. It just kind of gives you like this vague picture of like this guy on his lover's bed, or his ex-lover's bed, while she's, I guess, at work or something like that. Because I'm assuming with the way it's structured in the 5 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours point at the end of the song, he knows her schedule and has planned this all out. So yeah, like you just know that he's in this room, some cigarette ashes on the bed, and he's kind of like going through the plan in his mind one last time before actually doing it, reminiscing, just like, oh, I love all this about you, but you treated me like shit. So yeah, I don't know, like it makes for a better listen now that I've been looking at the lyrics.
Yeah, totally. Well, I do look forward to listening to it again.
And may I just reference the album cover once again to the YouTube viewers, how peaceful this looks. It's just a white cover with very nice black handwritten font with I'm doing the opposite thing here on the camera. There's a couple playing in the sun near a tree. It's so fun. This is such a fun album. No dark content.
Yay! Exciting happiness, sunshine, skipping through the meadows.
I wonder if the Dead Meat channel on YouTube could do a kill count of this album, because I'm pretty sure there's more than enough to count.
Jesus.
Speaking of being the end of something, Gollum 2, the Bionic Vapor Boy, another kind of darkish song.
Oh, really? Don't ruin the happiness. It sounds so upbeat and like, yay, everyone's happy, woo. It kind of reminds me of like some sort of twisted children's clown-based show.
Yeah. So, I mean, I do agree, because, you have those, in the beginning you hear the winding up of the toy, and it's just playing like this kind of like little music box type ditty, and then just the really bouncy like
that I'm into it. I am oddly into that.
But yeah, basically I believe the song, this one's a little weird, because this also, I'm assuming, takes in some sort of Jewish history, because like golems are like clay figures of Jewish history. Like it's a big like homunculus creature or whatever made of clay that was like, I think, evil. I could be wrong though.
I think the Pokemon. But
Gollum 2 is, they're creating this like new age version of it. It's not just like old history. And so it starts as Bionic Paperboy, Bionic Puppet Boy, and then Bionic Vapor Boy. And by the time it gets to Vapor, it's pretty much like, I think the lyrics are like ward directing, mind inspecting, man correcting. And so like it just goes to show like the lyrics are like a progression of like how much it's learning, what it's doing type thing.
I'm trying to imagine what a Bionic Vapor Boy would look like. And I'm kind of thinking of like an amputee Astro Boy for some reason.
Well, if it helps at all, I think some of the lyrics in the beginning are, Gollum 2, the Bionic Paperboy, and it's like self-perfecting, lie-rejecting. I can't remember the rest of it, but yeah, just the idea is like, you hear like the buildup of what this thing is through the entire song, and at the end, it's like, oh, it's taken over everything. Mankind's doomed. Very lovely content matter. But this is, yes, one of the bounciest songs on the album.
At the end, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like I heard some static kind of at the end, sort of fade out.
Like kind of like that record thumping. Like if you have like, you're playing a turntable, it's like thump, thump.
And I felt the song was like a soundtrack to a fever dream, and that noise was like them waking up.
I mean, that makes sense in a way, I suppose. Like, I don't know what the context of the song was when they wrote it, but that could make sense. Because I even mentioned, like, I really like these almost hypnotizing interludes between, like, verses or sections, I guess. There's not really one or the other.
Yeah.
But, like, there's, like, these quiet, hypnotizing little interludes, and I really like that. And I guess it adds more to that dream context that you just mentioned.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know, the kind of switching from sort of, what I envision as like, upbeat circus music, and everything else is kind of like the, I don't know. I imagine it sort of normal, but you got people walking on the ceiling or something really odd going on in this really happy environment. It's kind of twisted, so hence the fever dream.
Yeah. And I mean, If you want to interpret this like the happy-go-lucky circus music, then by all means, it'll probably make you feel a lot better than what the album's actually trying to push.
Yeah,
Again,
well,
I could be wrong in the meaning.
Scary clowns, but yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I could be wrong in the meanings. Again, I'm just kind of going by like what I've seen others say and what I feel about the lyrics myself. So like, it just kind of made the most sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But again, feel free to correct me if I am wrong. They have Mr. Bungle, like Trevor Dunn and Mike Patton write most of the lyrics. Mike Patton writing most of them, I think.
Yeah.
They have a very specific style of writing where it creates imagery, but it's still kind of vague about it on purpose. It's, again, not holding your hand through the entire song. It's just like, welcome to this world. You're going to figure it out eventually.
I like that. They give you a handbook with no words in it. They're like, this is all you'll need.
So we'll move on, I suppose.
Yes.
Although I will say with Bionic Vaporboy, I was honestly surprised when it ended. It could have actually kept going and I wouldn't have even noticed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hold on, let me pull up the song length. Of course it disappears. Shit. Because I recorrected my phone. I have like my calculator on here. I have the song lengths and everything. Okay, so 3 minutes and 34 seconds with like 13 seconds of winding up toys at the beginning. So this is like a very basic radio song, like time structure wise.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could have kept going, and because of the length of the other songs on this album, I wouldn't have noticed. Okay.
Next.
So, number 8, The Holy Filament. Fun fact, I don't know why, maybe I'm dyslexic, but for the longest time, I kept reading this as The Holy Flailment, even though that's 100% not what it is. It's filament, and I don't know why my brain keeps seeing the word flailment.
Is that even a word?
I don't believe it is.
Oh.
Flail, yes, but flailement, probably not.
So just side note, there's a Cradle of Filth song called The Byronic Man. I always read it as The Bionic Man, and I'm listening to it on Spotify, and I'm like, they have it wrong on here too. Looked at the album. Holy shit, for the last 10 years, I have not been reading this properly.
Well, then the difference between you and me is at least your brain was trying to correct you or correct this situation, whereas my brain just saw a jumble of shit and it's like, flailment, that makes sense.
You're on your own, buddy.
And because of how kooky I always thought Bungle was, I was like, okay, they're just making up words. That's cool. And I never took this a second in my fucking life up until like doing this review and saying it's like, it's filament.
He even says it in the song. See, I heard that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just... I can't explain it. I'm a big doofy. I get it. I'll take the L on that one.
How to make fun of Kris now. You messed up.
Very rare opportunity. Take good advantage of it.
That's over now.
Okay, I don't really know a lot lyrically about this song. All I know is Trevor Dunn wrote it, and apparently it's about string theory. That's all I know. Which is extremely complex if you're into it. Like, just don't even have the time of day to explain it. But yeah, it's a very kind of mysterious and spacey sounding track. But it feels very peaceful in the beginning too. So like that kind of carries you into the song very nicely. I like that part.
It feels like it's ramping up to something where it's just sort of, I don't know, it's building up and building up. Also, his range, how?
I do have Mike Patton's falsetto harmonies, though.
How does, like, I can't even describe to audio listeners, but like, it's so far up here, but it's also so far down here. How does this exist in a human?
Yeah, because if you haven't heard this track yet, so basically I think one of the highest notes is like, but an octave higher than that.
Yeah.
So it's up there in the like damn near the whistle range.
Oh my lord! And then he can do the really low, butter smooth, Barry White, deep voice.
He's got everything you need.
I am into it. I'm into
100%.
Oh yeah, I am into it.
This song does feel like a trip all the way through. Like I imagine someone taking DMT and listening to this song, and this is what their trip. This is the audio version of their trip.
Oh lord. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't have many notes for this one. It was just like his range, holy shit. And it kind of felt like sort of like an interlude. Like, I know it's like 3.5, 4 minutes long, maybe a little longer, but like it kind of felt, I don't know.
Like an interlude between like Gollum 2 and Vanity Fair.
Yeah, like kind of two different ideas. It was just sort of like you're on the boat ride to the next island, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get like I don't really have a lot of other points too, but yeah, Mike Patton's vocal range, fantastic.
Yeah.
If this was an interlude, I mean, going into the next track, Vanity Fair, it'd be such a weird transition at that point because this is where I kind of like I snapped back into reality a little bit. Oops, there goes gravity. Anyways, we're not gonna get into that. Eminem opened a mom's spaghetti restaurant. Okay.
What?
You didn't hear that?
No, is this recent?
Okay, so by the time this podcast is out, this is much old news. But yes, in Detroit, he opened a very small restaurant called Mom's Spaghetti, and they served nothing but spaghetti. He served like 10 people in line and then took off, even though the lineup went like down 2 blocks.
Oh, Lord.
But yes, Mom's Spaghetti in Detroit. It exists.
I had no idea, no intention on going, but no idea.
That kind of gives people a hint of like when these episodes are filmed as compared to like uploaded and presented.
This was filmed in May.
Yeah, way before Mom's Spaghetti was a concept. Except it was a meme, that's all it was.
Yep.
Anyways, Vanity Fair.
Yes.
Yeah, we are getting into just this like really just fun, bouncy kind of swinging type song. And speaking of Mike Patton's vocal range, my very first note, Patton's vocal range. Hello.
Yeah, I didn't have much variety for this song that I haven't already said. So my point's just his voice, the horns, and it sounds so big and full and like it would just fill an airplane hangar. It's so, I don't know. I don't know. I can't describe it. It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
My heart.
And like, let's keep talking about Mike Patton's vocal range for a minute here, because specifically with his projection of his voice, like most singers, like they will, like, if you're trained, like you know how to do certain things and get the most clear sound of your voice. A lot of singers might start sounding nasally because it just kind of passes on certain plates and everything like that. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, it sounds like he's projecting, like even as you just said, like kind of to like an entire auditorium. Like his voice is just so powerful. And like you can hear that in this song. Like it doesn't even sound like he's struggling, even though he's projecting a lot, and it's very clean too. Like it doesn't break up a little bit. It's not raspy. He doesn't growl. It's this clean tone, well projected. Like, oh man, I would almost assume that he did it in one take. It's like just because that's the way he is, but he probably didn't. He probably did multiple. But I don't know, just it's fantastic. It's one of those things that really makes me like listening to albums like this.
I don't know if I was hearing it right, but there's something in the mix that just kind of sounds like bubbles. I don't know what it is, but that was cool.
That's very possible because, again, with this song, slightly not the darkest subject matter this time. It's a little weird. Yeah. But from as far as I can tell, I mean, although I saw people saying this song is about a eunuch, which is, to people who don't know, they get their genitals removed to hit higher notes or anything like that, or just kind of removing male genitalia altogether. Yeah. That doesn't really happen anymore. But anyways, I assumed this song was about maybe a man in particular, like really wanting the attention and fame that like these Vanity Fair models get. Like they're just plastic. They don't even look real. Like they're just made up for these magazines. But this person wanted that image. And at the end of the song, they got that sex change just for the fame or something along the lines of that. Because I mean, with the way the lyrics kind of go, it alludes to that a lot. Yeah. And then even at the end it says, cut this cancer from my soul. And then after it's cut, then he's like, I finally made it. Like, here I am. This is me now. Like, and I don't know, if you read the lyrics, it makes a lot more sense. Yeah. But that's kind of what I picked up from it. Really interesting story.
I got none of that. All of these song analysis points you're making hurt me. It's not as bright and yay as it sounds, and Yeah, gonna have to take another listen. You've twisted my arm.
I think it was none of them knew they were robots. The one we just talked about earlier, where I said lyrically the song was punishing to those who only listen to the music. Like, I feel like a lot of the songs in this album are, because they sound so fun, so swinging, so lively. They're just fantastic. And they are. I mean, let's not lie to ourselves. But yeah, lyrically is where, like, oh boy, we're masking something dark here, aren't we?
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's kind of confusing because it's like, how should I feel about this? Like, I don't want to listen to a really upbeat song and feel sad about it.
Yeah.
But
don't listen to Memory Lane by Elliott Smith. Don't do it.
I probably will now that you told me not to.
Read the lyrics then.
Oh, crap. But I don't know. I feel I don't know, maybe it's like a bittersweet feeling. I don't know, like to sort of have the happy music in conjunction with those lyrics. It's kind of I don't know, just makes me feel weird, but not in a I don't want this way, in a I don't feel this often, what is this way? I don't know.
And I would
it's
imagine
a weird album. I liked it, but it was weird.
I would imagine in like an unexpected, like, I didn't anticipate this, I didn't sign up for this kind of way. Yeah.
You're like, I didn't sign. It's like you went with your friend to something and you're like, I didn't sign up to this, but like, I don't care what you do. I'm just going to keep coming back on my own. This is for me.
Yeah. It's like you go to see like a show or something like that and you have like, it's not what you imagine the show would be, but your response is like, oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
like, kind of concerned enthusiasm.
And then your fourth or fifth time there seeing the same thing, you're like, I love this. Good job.
This is my jam.
Exactly. You're the mom at the back going, woo!
That's my son up there. Okay. Very deep voice lady. I could have gone stereotypical high pitch, but no, I went deep.
She really meant it. Really.
I love my son's music. I'm going to destroy my own throat. I'm not Mike Patton. I can't do this.
The album liner, screaming compliments, my mother.
That'd be hilarious to say that. I don't think Mike Patton needs anyone to fill in for him, though. But yeah, Vanity Fair, short, sweet, and entertaining, if you get past like the kind of odd subject matter. And with an album that runs themes of, consequences for our selfishness as like a species, because that's essentially like the overarching theme, I believe, of this entire album. This song is the most blatant of all these messages, and it's very, very well written. I think they present it in the best way possible. I mean, like, it can still leave certain things up to interpretation, because, again, some people believe the song's about a eunuch. But other than that, I mean, I think it's, like, the most straightforward.
Yeah. I liked it.
So did I. I really enjoyed that song. Okay, so, speaking of songs with dark subject matter... As if that was ever going to stop. Goodbye, Sober Day. And I mean, like a title like that.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you can kind of get an idea that, that doesn't sound... I mean, it shouldn't sound pleasant. Yeah. It's not just going out and getting day drunk or something like this. Is like some serious issues here.
It definitely, just from the title, I kind of get the idea that it's a monumental goodbye. So obviously they've been sober for quite a while and they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm just I don't have the notes for the lyrics written on this one. But as far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's like someone who's just kind of more or less, again, my own interpretation, I could be wrong, someone who's just kind of like given up doing like anything or trying. And so they're just falling, like they are swan diving into drugs at that point. It's like, I'm done. This is all. If I'm not going to die, then I want this.
Yeah.
So again, not exactly the most pleasant story to be telling.
Yep. Just going along with all of that, one of my thoughts of the song, I can hear this tune in a Disney film.
Because like, and also, like, I think the way the song is structured too, you can kind of like hear that descent into drugs a little bit.
Yeah.
As like just one of the last songs you hear before things get like really kind of like DTM-ish, I guess I can use that again, just like I did in the other track. Yeah. It's like, it says goodbye sober day, and then I think it says hello Milky Way. And so like that just means like, you're going to take off into space now. You're going to be so high, you're not going to be on this plane anymore. this plane of existence. But yeah, again, with this song, like other ones on this one, I just don't know how they manage with the transitions between each section of the song into the choruses.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it so well, but everything works. Like, the song kind of throws a lot at you again, but then the choruses are the softest, quietest, kind of like you're kind of like riding a soft wave a little bit, because it's not smooth.
Yeah.
It feels like you're kind of like in this little wave. Well, he's in his falsetto saying goodbye sober day. I love the chorus. That's how it's quiet. I really like that.
I wasn't sure about it, but then it kind of caught my attention in bits. And about 2/3 of the way through, it really caught my attention because it had changed. So I really like that. And I am a fan of a chaotic ending. So I like that. That was all right.
And actually, I kind of have notes like that too. Like, first off, I have just the right amount of liveliness in the track coupled with the smooth and drifting choruses. Really great first half of the album. The second half almost feels like a total loss of control, especially considering the lyrical content. Yeah. It does work really well. It goes back to the verse a little bit, which feels good to revisit, but it doesn't really end the same way. Then it just kind of has that like kind of big booming ending.
Yeah.
A very chaotic and noisy ring out at the end, followed by like this ghostly type whimper is the very last sound you hear as everything fades out. And it either is going to snap you back into reality, or it's going to leave you in the state it just put you in.
Yep.
Which is essentially the drug user of the song, the protagonist. Just a wild second half of the song. It was really crazy. But yeah, I really like this song.
I don't know. It didn't stick out as much as some of the other ones, but I guess is kind of a precursor to my disclaimer for my list. I didn't hate any of them, and anything I put at the end, I swear to God, I just liked the other ones more. This whole album was just like, give it to me often, give me more.
Yeah.
I like.
It's essentially the same note with me again. Like, anything that appears at number 10, 9, anything that's not number 1. I love them all so much. But yes, obviously we need an order to our rankings.
Yes.
So they have to be placed somewhere. And unfortunately, one of the songs are going to take number 10, even though I don't feel like it's a number 10.
I agree. Definitely.
But with that in mind, we can do the song rankings now. We're here.
I want to know what yours is. It's killing me.
The song, I'm more curious about the album, though. Since it's the first time we have not discussed album rating yet, prior to the show.
I feel like mine's... Okay, so actually, I have to say, I don't know if you had mentioned this during the last show or, when we talk in between, but you had guessed that my percentage would be 68 for this album.
Oh.
I wrote it down last week.
I have a feeling I'm wrong now. I have this very strong feeling that I'm wrong, but in the best way possible.
I don't know if it's going to be as high as you think it is now, but it. I just wanted to let you know that you guessed 68 last week. So
tell you what,
I want to change that now.
No. I'm gonna. This one doesn't count because my first prediction, I already know I'm going to be wrong. What I'm going to do is I'm going to even use this marker. I'm going to write a number on this piece of paper.
Yeah.
Let's say that you put it here. Okay. So I have a number written down, and when we do the album rankings, I will hold that up. This is what I think you did.
All right.
It won't change.
No cuts either.
No. Well, actually, oh god damn, there probably is going to be because I have to transition screens. Damn it. But no, I promise there is a number and I will not touch it. Like I want this to be as authentic as possible. But anyways, song ranking is first.
Continue.
So, this is, we rate 10 to 1. We don't hate any of these songs, but unfortunately one of them, half of the list is going to be bottom 5. But let's just ignore the fact of worst to best. It's all best to bestest.
Yes, this time it definitely is.
And as the graphic above my head transitions for the video version, that means we can get started with the rankings. So, my song number 10, The Holy Filament.
Yes.
Right off the top. Good start. We each said 2, right? We said 2 for our predictions.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and say 6. Dang. Yep.
I said 3 was optimistic. We'll see.
Yep.
Something's got to break the record of 3. Chili Peppers has, but Daughters with Ratio is actually still technically in the lead.
All right.
This album could actually break that record, hopefully.
All right. Let's see.
Number 9, Sweet Charity.
Goodbye, Sober Day.
Damn. We had momentum for a minute there.
Oh, yeah.
Number 8, Gollum 2, The Bionic Vapor Boy.
Pink Cigarette.
Shite. Okay. Number 7, none of them knew they were robots.
The Air Conditioned Nightmare.
We're not matching anything.
Oh.
It's not. We've lost all the momentum. Because my number 6 was The Air Conditioned Nightmare.
Sweet Charity.
Bah, bah, bah. Okay.
So sad.
Number 5, Ars Moriendi. I think it's Ars Moriendi.
Vanity Fair.
Vanity Fair. No. My number 4 is Vanity Fair.
Mine's Retro Vertigo.
Yeah, we're 100%. We're done. Number 3 is Goodbye Sober Day.
Gollum 2. Etc., etc.
Number 2, Retro Vertigo.
Ars Moriendi?
Ars Moriendi. And my number 1 was Pink Cigarette.
None of them knew they were robots.
None. Well, we got 1. We said 2, and we only got 1. Although you changed yours to 6, you're way the hell off. One whole pick. Oh, well. One day that record will be broken. I don't know how, I don't know when, but it will be.
Oh, it'll be next week or the week after. But you know what? To find out, you have to listen.
You gotta keep listening, or just people will just jump to the spoiler posts.
Yeah,
Boo,
don't do that.
Boo.
Don't do that. It's the content in here. This is gold.
Don't you like
My humor does not get better than this. You have to listen just so there's proof that I am funny. Kinda sometimes.
Wasn't there a moment in last week's episode when you made a Tom Petty pun and I said that it made me cringe so hard I shit out my esophagus?
That could have been last week, but it also could have been the previous 5 episodes.
No, I think it was because it was the "don't do me like that" thing. You're like, don't do me like that. I'm like,
yeah.
As a matter of fact, that's literally the clip I used to advertise that episode the next day.
You're gonna get everyone to hate me immediately. I want to listen to her. She's annoying.
Well, and I told you this off camera before. I think I'm being positioned as the villain now.
Well,
I'm the antagonist.
If the shoe fits.
I mean, if I'm already this far into the role, I might as well keep playing it.
Fair.
We're character actors. Okay, so now for potentially the part we're most excited for, because we're very curious. I still remember, I'm not going to show you what it is yet, but I got the number. Oh, my camera just shifted. The number's written right here, and I promise nothing will change. I 100% promise. And it's probably not going to be on anyways.
I'm watching you.
But anyways, transitioning screen editor, me now. Whoosh. Okay, so here you see the screen before us. 7 albums already ranked, and today number 8 goes up, even though it's episode 7. Weird, huh?
To find out why, go watch our other videos. I'm just really trying to just push it.
Yeah, really pad the time here.
Just push it. We need to be over 10 minutes. So to like throw some ads on the YouTube video. So like I'm really just trying to push it past that 10 minutes.
We are so far past 10 minutes. We are like past an hour, I think, right now.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe depending on what the editing comes out to. But anyways, there's 7 right now because if you didn't know, Nirvana and Red Hot Chili Peppers were a double header episode because they both turned 30 on the exact same day. Yes. So we did Nevermind and Blood Sugar Sex Magic in one day. So those are there, but we are all about Mr. Bungle this week in California. Once again, I can't even... Oh, wait, the screen's going to get screwed up. Oops. Yeah, I have to do this in Photoshop to people who don't know because Tier Maker List is a weird website to use when you don't have things properly aligned and ready to go, and we don't want albums spoiled.
And we finally have a cover that doesn't have a face on it.
Yeah, not even like the resemblance of a person.
Yeah.
Wait, no, sorry. There is a man and a woman on, but they're very tiny.
They don't count.
A big white box.
Exactly.
So here we are. We're gonna rate the record. We are excited because this is the first time we don't know each other's scores. So
Oh shit.
I know I kind of feel like I want to hear yours first.
Yeah.
Should I flip a coin?
Yes, please.
I don't have a
Actually.
coin. I have a guitar pick. I don't have a coin.
Yeah, guitar pick. That's fine.
Logo side up is me, and then purple side is you.
Sounds good. I'll trust you.
Oh shit! It went off the table and under the desk. It's okay.
It's like every time I roll dice, it just ends up in the next
Hold on.
room somehow.
Purple side down. It's all you.
God, you liar.
No, I can take a picture. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna hold this up as you say it, so I can't change it at all in time.
Okay.
So go ahead and do your thing.
Okay. 76.
Ooh, close. I had 78.
Ooh, okay. So you're not disappointed because it's close enough. Perfect.
It's not high enough realistically.
Perfect. We're perfect. That's it.
So it was it 76 even?
76 on the dot.
Well, at least the album will end up where I thought it would be, because mine was 90.5. I S-tiered the hell out of this album.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love this album. That's
wanna
why I
listen to
own
it
it
more.
on vinyl.
Yeah.
I'm actually, because of how well you praise, I'm surprised it isn't higher.
I think it's just one of those sort of like, I didn't want to go too high, but then like by the time I was at the end of the album, I was like, maybe I could have, but I really wanted to stand by the choices I made at the beginning. So
Fair enough, but I mean, like, let your heart guide you. That's what I did, and this is why it ended up in the S tier. But no, because it's not just my ranking. This came out, according to my calculator, to 83.25%, which means, as I predicted, it was going to end up in the A tier, our very first A tier album.
yeah, I really liked it. I liked it kept my attention by just changing it. You know what I mean? Like I felt like I was just flipping through the TV, getting little snippets, seeing what they're about. Like totally know their other albums don't sound like this. So I definitely have to go into it knowing and thinking that. But if their goal was to stay true to themselves while being moderately commercial, that goal was dead on, bullseye target. You got me.
Now you gotta go listen to the other two albums.
I totally do.
I'm so curious as compared to this of what you would think. We'll see one day.
Yeah, I might listen to it before we actually review it, but I don't know. I like this.
It's not even like we have a calendar of episodes, and yet another Mr. Bungle album's not in the cards for a very long time.
Till 2025.
Yikes. Maybe not that long. But this album just is, I don't know, it's fantastic songwriting. These guys are geniuses. And being a Bungle fan already and having heard their prior albums, like, I mean, there was something very refreshing but still very familiar about it that I really liked.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know. Again, I think I've said this even prior to this episode, that Mike Patton, whatever he touches can turn to gold. Like, he's just a golden boy. And
I didn't believe you. I didn't. I was like, yeah, he's just a fanboy, whatever. But no, I got this. Yeah, understand.
Mike Patton is a very beloved musician.
Yeah, I understand now for sure.
And to anyone who's like super music nerd who might know the history between Mr. Bungle versus the Red Hot Chili Peppers, you will find it justice that Mr. Bungle has outranked a Red Hot Chili Peppers album.
I'm okay with that. I promote that feud on our scale, 100%.
But yeah, like even back on that note for a minute there about Mr. Bungle versus the Red Hot Chili Peppers, very, very short. It's just Anthony Kiedis was being kind of a dick, had them kicked off several tours because California came out around the same time as Californication, and because of confusion, and they were both on the same label, apparently Anthony Kiedis had like power behind the scenes and got Bungle kicked off of similar tours of the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and that actually was one of the defining things that made Mr. Bungle break up, besides like creative differences, is because like they couldn't promote the album heavily enough. They weren't able to play the festivals that they wanted to play. So like this album kind of fell off because of the Chili Peppers.
Wasn't Anthony Kiedis kind of butthurt because Faith No More came out around the same time and they were doing the whole funk rap thing? They're like, you're copying us. But does he just have like a hard on for Mike Patton then?
Yeah, like a hate boner type thing. And yeah, I guess that hate boner lasted all the way through the 90s because then, ultimately that was the last straw that broke the camel's back and broke up Mr. Bungle.
Yeah, well, they were better, so.
Sad times at Richmount High.
Yeah.
But there you go. We ranked a record today. We rated a record today, sorry. And it was a very good record.
Yeah, I really like sharing the grades, percentages during the show because I don't know. It made for a lot of tension within me. I was like, ooh, is he going to figure it out from all these good things I'm saying? This is, ooh, I wonder. But a heartfelt thank you for picking this album because it is now on my playlist. So
I almost chose the self-title, as I said earlier, but yeah, California is like, hey, let's just do this one. It's 44 minutes. I love it, and I really think we should get through it.
Hell yeah. I'm in for life.
And to bring us another note back real quick, did you listen to Dead Goon yet? Go listen to that bass line. I'm not kidding. If my praise of this album is anything to go by, that song's bass line. Just do it. Oh my God, I can't be alone in this. I know I'm not.
Well, I probably this Wednesday will be your pick of the week. Just really drive that point home this time.
No, actually, it was my pick of the week last week. Or at the point of recording this, it was my pick of the week last week. And I even mentioned the bass line.
Oh my Lord.
It's in the Instagram archive now. You can go see it and see exactly what I'm talking about. Or go just watch it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, add up the views on YouTube. Go ahead.
Yeah, we need way more of those. We need a lot more views. We need some watch hours, and you can help that.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you made it this far through the podcast, that means you must have liked what we're doing. So hitting that like button, subscribe, commenting on YouTube, really going to help build that community, and we can actually, get this channel going off the ground.
Yes.
We still need that sweet old delicious custom URL and not just a bunch of weird numbers and letters.
Yeah, we want youtube.com/Savannah. That's what we're
been over
aiming
this,
for.
Not happening. Well, I'm the villain. I win.
How many jokes do I have to exhaust? I have this one and that's it. So
I think you've already exhausted it. Because I told you I'm here too.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're listening in the audio realms as well, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Castbox, and Bandcamp, as mentioned earlier, then by all means, follow us over there, subscribe if you can, like whatever you can, leave comments, ratings, all that really nice stuff that's going to make us look really pretty.
Yay!
Because again, community, and we want you to be part of it.
Yes.
And what did you think about today's episode? Are we right for loving Mr. Bungle? Do you hate Mr. Bungle for some stupid reason?
Yeah. Tell us what you think. We need to know. We need and we want to know.
Exactly. So let's hear what you got to say about it. But thank you very much for watching this episode. But just before we go, we do have another episode coming up next week. And if you want a little hint about what it is, Savannah, it's your album to choose. What is coming next week?
Okay, so I couldn't really think of sort of a spoiler that, it's not like they've been on a soundtrack that I know of or anything like that. So it might be a little generic. They are a British, or they were a British progressive rock band. They started in the 80s. They started as one individual's project, and that individual is now solo, and they have been called the biggest artist you've never heard of. Maybe not verbatim, but yeah, and if you know, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, with a description like that, it should be interesting. To be honest, I have not heard of the band listening to next week. So it's not like Dream Theater where I just haven't heard the album. I haven't heard of the band.
Yes.
When I saw it on the list, I was like, who? I mean, I'll listen, but who?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, so it should be interesting. And hopefully there won't be a through her eyes moment on that album that completely tanks it. So hopefully I'll give it a decent score.
Yeah, let's hope.
Uh-oh.
I'm thinking about it and I'm just like,
I don't think anything's going to be that bad, though.
No, I don't.
I don't think anything will be that bad on this show ever again.
Well, I'm glad we got it out of the way at the beginning, right?
Here I am, like 4 or 5 episodes later, still talking shit on that song. Yikes, it left a lasting impact on me.
Yeah, and if you want to see how bad, go watch the Dream Theater episode when we did Scenes from a Memory.
Above my head right now. There it is.
Yeah,
go watch it.
It was an event.
It absolutely was. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this episode. We appreciate your company. We're glad that we're here to watch it. We hope you enjoyed it. You should join us again next week, same time, same place, because we're here every Monday releasing brand new episodes.
Hell yeah.
Maybe it's your favorite band, so you'll definitely want to hear it. So yeah, one more time, thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Listen to some awesome music. See you soon, friends.
Bye-bye.